Opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe stated in Parliament today that he had informed the President of the UNP's stance with regard to the reports of the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission.
When I addressed the House on 3rd of May last year, I said the UN panel report is a fact, and where appropriate we have to respond. I find that the Commission has not done so. But at the same time, we must say there are many positive recommendations in the Commission report. The government appointed this Commission to get recommendations on the approach to reconciliation. On the 20th of April last year, the UNP stated that any genuine concerted effort by the government to resolve the national issues will receive the maximum cooperation of the UNP. Further, we stated there must be a lasting and an amicable solution to the grievances of the minority communities. We stand by that position. Prior to the letter I have sent the President, the TNA has also published its responses to the report in January this year. There is much common ground between our responses and the Commission report. So if the government is serious, this is the time that we've all got to get together and work out solutions, because democracy is very fragile.
A Commissioner of the Sri Lankan Human Rights Commission, Dr. Pratibha Mahanamahewa, says that the report of the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission can be used positively at the United Nations Human Rights Council sessions in Geneva later this month. In his opinion, showing that the recommendations made in the report have been implemented will be positive for Sri Lanka. President Mahinda Rajapaksa appointed Dr. Pratibha Mahanamahewa to the Sri Lankan Human Rights Commission effective from the 9th of February.
The biggest challenge currently facing by Sri Lanka is how to face in the Human Rights Council meetings coming in February 27 to March 13. In this meeting, there can be certain resolutions coming up to see human rights violation issues, but we have a better solution. That solution is LLRC report and the National Human Rights Plan, and also how we have implemented certain LLRC recommendations. If we can prove that we have done that, and in the process within one night we can't do it, if you can show the plan, then there can be other countries also, we can get their vote. I can give one word, Dr. Abdul Kalam's message. He basically said Sri Lanka have a future and development, so basically try language. If we can come up with another policy, I think we'll have a better position in Human Rights Council meetings.
A Chinese delegation called on Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne at his office this morning. The Chinese delegation, comprising of 14 individuals, also included the Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Shanxi province in China, Yuan Chongqing. The Prime Minister's media unit said that the Chinese delegation had assured the Premier that China will extend its fullest cooperation to Sri Lanka to overcome any challenge it faces in the international arena. The visiting delegation had also assured the Premier of China's support to achieve all development goals planned by Sri Lanka.
Well, the 25th anniversary of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers of Sri Lanka was celebrated in Colombo last evening.
The event was held under the auspices of the President of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, Alan Marsh. Opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe and UNP parliamentarian Karu Jayasuriya were among those present at the occasion.
We are just 22 kilometers away from Tamil Nadu. Together with Gujarat, the fastest growing states in India. We can really be the best port for South India. Also, we can be a port for China. Sri Lanka's survival and its prosperity has always depended on the maritime trade. We won't be what we are, not for the maritime trade. And then if you have to go ahead, we have to realize that, look outwards and grasp those opportunities that the global trade and the development of Asia will give us.
Those who had made an outstanding contribution to the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers were felicitated at the occasion.
Yesterday, we concluded our foray into history, where we went in search of the battlefields and the homes and heroes who made independence a reality. Tonight, on our special segment, Salute to a Proud Nation, we look at a short summary of this journey.
Over the past several days, we brought you the key events in the struggle for freedom from the day we became a British colony on the 2nd of March 1815 to the dawn of freedom on the 4th of February 1948. Even the residents of some areas were unaware of several of the historic locations visited by News First on this journey. What used to be the Ahalepola Walawa is today the Kandy Remand Prison. We looked into the current situation of some of the key Walawas of the more than 40 Walawas across Kandy. Another location we came across in Kandy is the grave of the then administrator of the Central Hills, John Doyley. We also presented details of heroes who were almost looked upon as deities. One such individual was Haguranketha Dingirala, who to this day is considered a demigod in Kurunagala, where he met his death. Incidentally, even his descendants were unaware of this until the News First presentation. Paravahagama is another special place that we happened to visit. This entire village were labelled traitors for the crime of giving safe haven to Monorovilla Kapetipola. The Kapetipola Walawa and the cave used by Veera Puranapu as a hideout were among several more significant sites that we journeyed to. Although with this we conclude our sojourn into our independence struggle, the memories of those heroic individuals who through their deeds and words firmly stamped their places in the hearts of all Sri Lankans will never fade.
Despite the numerous warnings and the enforcement of laws, there appears to be no let-up in the number of road accidents. A small child was killed in a motor accident in Demetapitiya, Chilaw, leaving his family in a state of shock and disbelief.
9-year-old Kanishka Lakmal from Pasugaswaiva Rajakadawala was killed when he was hit by a vehicle travelling from Anamadua to Chilaw. He was a student of the Kurukulia Central College in Chilaw. Area residents said Kanishka met with the accident that claimed his life while crossing the road after going to a shop. He went to the boutique and asked for tissue paper. I heard the seller say that they don't have tissue paper. Then the child crossed the road. He was crossing towards the right when the vehicle hit him at high speed. He was thrown into the air. The police said the driver of the vehicle has been taken into custody. Meanwhile, a 43-year-old woman was killed in a motor accident at the Jaffna Junction area in Anuradhapura this morning. Our reporter said the woman who had been riding a motorcycle from Rambawa to Anuradhapura had collided with a private bus plying from Trincomalee to Anuradhapura. The deceased has been identified as M. Shantilekha, a resident of Rambawa. The Anuradhapura police have arrested the driver of the bus.
Global Park opened the first green warehouse in Sri Lanka in Sidua today.
Global Park, the logistics centre of the Sri Lankan logistics giant Global Transportation Logistics, is the current regional hub chosen by Marks & Spencer. Located in Katunayaka Sidua, the Green Warehouse complex was declared open by Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne today.
This is a good example of our suppliers coming on the journey with us. And this facility is one of 4 international hubs as it consolidates products made in South Asia for international Marks & Spencer stores and consolidates products made in Sri Lanka for our UK stores.
The Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Asia-Pacific High-Level Intergovernmental Meeting was held from the 6th to the 8th of February in Bangkok, Thailand. The chairman and the Director General of the National Youth Services Council, Lalit Pium Pereira, addressed the delegates at this conference.
In his speech, the chairman of the National Youth Services Council, Lalit Pereira, spoke of the steps taken by the Sri Lankan government towards the prevention of HIV/AIDS and the success of the measures taken. He also spoke of the initiatives taken by the National Youth Services Council over the past 2 years to strengthen youth and to promote youth activities. More than 300 delegates representing various nations who participate at this conference had pledged their support to the World Conference on Youth, which is scheduled to be held in Sri Lanka in 2014.
Although a large amount of public funds are being spent on the beautification of Colombo, the price that has been paid by some of Colombo's underprivileged residents cannot be measured in monetary terms. While a good environment has been created for the more affluent residents of Colombo 7 to keep fit and healthy, the environment that the residents of Matakulia, which also comes under the Colombo Municipal Council, are forced to live in is not one suitable for habitation. The majority of residents in Crow Island, Matakulia, who do not have enough fat to burn through exercise, find that there is an abundance of mosquitoes breeding in these waterways, ready to drain them of their blood. While Crow Island faces the sea on one side, the other side is surrounded by these waterways. Like the crows that are drawn here for the mounting garbage, the 1,800 homes in this area also ensure that there is an abundance of politicians who come visiting during election time. Although these residents pay taxes to the Colombo Municipal Council, there is a problem with regard to who they should turn to in order to resolve a problem which has cropped up. The problem is that these waterways are not flowing out to sea as they should be and are instead collecting water. When we go to the Municipal Council, they say they are not responsible and that it is the responsibility of waterway development. When we go there, they direct us to the Urban Development Authority. Then we are directed elsewhere. About 2 weeks ago, one part of this waterway was reconstructed through the sponsorship of a foreign embassy. The failure to complete this task properly has aggravated the problem.
They took the garbage from the canal and put it on the road, and now even the vehicles can't go. It's been 2 weeks.
Residents of Crow Island charged that despite the Ministry of Health declaring several dengue prevention weeks over the last year and the beginning of this year, not once have these waterways been inspected by the authorities concerned.
They're talking about dengue everywhere. There is no point in having mosquito nets for children. It is impossible to sleep at night.
At night, the mosquitoes get into this garbage heap. We can't even walk without running into mosquitoes. There are that many mosquitoes. Is it fair to provide such facilities to a group of residents in Colombo who pay taxes and completely disregard the sanitation and health of another group of Colombo residents who pay the same taxes? Mayor of the Colombo Municipal Council, this one is over to you.